New WBSC rankings came out about a week ago. 82 countries ranked from around the world. This is not the final ranking of the year. That is scheduled to come out on December 31st. And there are still a few chances for countries to earn some points before the year is over. But what you see here today is pretty much what the final rankings will look like. And this year the rankings are more important than ever, because this year the top 12 will automatically qualify for the next edition of the Premier 12, while numbers 13 through 18 will be invited to the first ever Premier 12 qualifier. So the top 12 has always meant something. Now, for the first time ever, it's really important to finish the year in the top 18. If a country does not finish in the top 18, there's still a chance they could get into the qualifiers. 2 additional countries will be chosen by the WBSC for the qualifiers, bringing the total number of qualifier teams up to 8. So, rankings are important. One thing you should remember when looking through the WBSC rankings is that these are not just a ranking of the senior national teams. It includes all age groups and all WBSC sanctioned tournaments. So, under 12, under 15, under 18, under 23, as well as senior national team events all count toward a country's point total. More points awarded for the more important events, of course. Only the most recent additions count. Like the 2023 WBC position still counts toward this ranking, but the 2017 edition does not. It's not an exact measurement of a country's strength in baseball. For example, some European countries do well in these rankings because they have more money, so they can get their youth teams out to more international tournaments, while some African countries are unable to do so because they lack funding, even though the talent level is very good. On the other hand, it does reward countries for building up their programs from the youngest ages on up, and punishes those countries that don't bother with it so much, and instead rely on international players with a distant connection to their country to fill up the roster for only the big senior national team tournaments. Overall, I think the rankings are pretty good. Along the way in this video, I'll mention what every one of these countries accomplished in 2025. Not just what their national teams did to earn points toward the ranking, but also international club competitions, individual player accomplishments, tournaments hosted, and so on. A way to reflect on the year in baseball for all countries of the world. Here is the bottom of the ranking. On the left you see the country's rank in the world. Next to that, their rank on their continent, the country's flag and 3-letter abbreviation. Next to that, the number of points they have earned overall. After that, the number of points they earned in 2025, supposedly. The points shown there don't seem to match up with the accomplishments for a lot of teams. And all the way to the right, the number of spots up or down since the last rankings came out. 4 countries tied at the bottom with 3 points each. Reminder that there are many more countries with national baseball teams, but this only includes countries that have earned points in the last few years. From the bottom, Turkey, Fiji, Finland, and Bulgaria. Turkey participated in a Baseball 5 World Cup qualifier. Fiji participated in the Pacific Mini Games, a sports competition for all the small island nations in the Pacific. That took place in the summer in Palau. They were winless in 4 games in that tournament. Finland participated in the Nordic Championship, along with Norway and Sweden. Bulgaria hosted a B pool for the Under-18 European Championship in July, placing 4th out of 6. Tanzania and Afghanistan are tied at number 77 with 4 points each. Afghanistan competed in the West Asia Baseball Cup. Number 76, Cambodia, 5 points. Cambodia's women's national team participated in the Women's Baseball Asia Cup in Hong Kong in October. They're also going to compete in Baseball 5 at the Southeast Asian Games in December in Thailand, so there's the chance to earn more points before the year's over. Number 75, Benin, 7 points, all of them earned this year. Benin took part in the Africa Under-23 Championship, held in South Africa in late October and early November. 74, Romania, 8 points, but none this year. 73, Bangladesh, 9 points, all earned this year. Their national team took part in the West Asia Baseball Cup, where they were 6th out of 7 teams. Number 72, the Federated States of Micronesia, 10 points, all of them earned in 2025, after placing 4th at the Pacific Mini Games. 71, Malaysia, 12 points. They competed in the Youth Baseball 5 Asia Cup in Taiwan last April, and their men's senior national team will have the chance to earn the country some points this year in next month's Southeast Asian Games. 69 is a tie between Slovenia and Ukraine, both with 14 points. Ukraine suffered the biggest drop of any country in the latest rankings, down 28 points. Their 14th place finish at the 2023 European Championship no longer counts toward the rankings. They did not qualify for this year's edition. They did finish 2nd in a B-pool qualifier for the Under-23 European Championship, though. As for Slovenia, they hosted a group for the European Federation Cup, and one of their clubs won the gold, qualifying for the higher tier event in 2026. 68 Norway, 15 points. Norway hosted the Baseball Nordic Championship in August, with Sweden and Finland paying a visit. 67 Ecuador, 16 points. Ecuador had teams at the Under-12 World Cup Americas qualifier and the Under-15 South American Championship. And a Little League team from Ecuador picked up 2 wins at the Latin America Region Tournament. 65 is a tie. Indonesia and Ireland each with 18 points. The Indonesia women's national team won the gold at a qualifying round for the Asian Championship. Ireland's under-18 team finished in the upper half of the standings at a B-pool qualifier for the European Championship, and hosted a qualifier for the European Championship. 63, another tie. Kenya and Serbia with 20 points. Kenya qualified for the Youth Baseball 5 World Cup in Mexico in September. Serbia hosted a B-pool qualifier for the European Championship, placing third out of 5 teams. 62, Northern Mariana Islands, 21 points. At the Pacific Mini-Games, they placed 4th, just missing out on a medal, unable to defend the Mini-Games title they won in 2022. Number 60, Iran and India with 25 points. For Iran, all points earned this year. They took home bronze at the West Asia Baseball Cup, beating India for the medal, their 4th bronze in the last 14 years. In addition, Iran launched its inaugural Under-13 Baseball Championship. As for India, 19 of their 25 points were earned this year. As I just mentioned, they were 4th at the West Asia Cup. Additionally, the women's team placed 7th at the Women's Baseball Asia Cup. And the country's first professional ball club, the Mumbai Cobras, made their debut in Baseball United last week. Number 59, Palau, an island nation of just 18,000 people. 30 points, all earned this year. I love it that one of the world's tiniest countries is one spot ahead of the country with the largest population in the world. Palau hosted and won the Pacific Mini-Games, winning the gold medal game 8-1 over Guam, a much larger island. They also hosted the Taiwan-Palau Baseball Exchange Tournament in June. 58 Slovakia, 32 points. A Slovakian club competed in the European Federation Cup, winning 2 and losing 2. And we got a little closer to seeing the first born and raised Slovakian in MLB. Toronto Blue Jays pitching prospect Adam Mako played his first full season at the AAA level. 57 New Zealand, 35 points. New Zealand took part in the Under-18 World Cup Oceania qualifier, losing to Australia. 56 El Salvador, 40 points, 15 for the year. El Salvador won gold at the Copa Centenario de Baseball, beating Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Guatemala. Also participated in the Central American Games. 55 Uganda, 42 points, nothing from the national teams this year. Their Baseball 5 team reached the semifinals of the African Championship, but couldn't qualify for the main tournament. 19-year-old Ugandan reliever David Matoma was promoted to Single A in the Pittsburgh Pirates system. 54 Zimbabwe, 43 points, all earned this year, jumping 23 points from the last ranking. And now the number 2 country in Africa. Zimbabwe placed 2nd in both the Africa Under-18 and Under-23 championships. This does not mean that Zimbabwe is better than Uganda, just means that Zimbabwe is getting out to the tournaments and earning points. Uganda suffers from a lack of funding. 53 Sint Maarten, that's the Dutch part of the island of St. Martin in the Caribbean. 46 points, 0 for the year. They hosted the inaugural Sint Maarten Baseball Week in October, a 3-day festival drawing 160 youth athletes. Didi Gregorius was on hand for that. And they have a chance to earn some points before the year is over when they participate in the Caribbean Baseball Cup in the Bahamas in December. 52 Poland, 50 points, 36 this year. Poland hosted a qualifier for the European Federation Cup. The country's top club, Stal Kutno, placed 2nd out of 6 teams. They also hosted an Under-18 European Championship B pool, losing by 1 run in the championship game. And as usual, Poland hosted the Little League Europe-Africa Region Tournament. 51 Sri Lanka, 55 points, 32 for the year. The national team participated in the West Asia Baseball Cup. In 2019, they won the West Asia Cup, but were disappointing this time. 5th place with a record of 3-2. Guatemala, 59 points, silver medalists at the Copa Centenario de Baseball and the Central American Games, which they hosted. 49 Singapore, 62 points. They swept a 2-game series from Malaysia last spring and will play in the Southeast Asian Games next month. 47 a tie, Laos and Peru, 66 points. Laos will be at the Southeast Asian Games. Peru hosted the Under-23 Pan American South America qualifier. 46 Honduras, 70 points. They won bronze at the Central American Games. 45 Chile, 71 points. Nothing this year. Their last big achievement was winning bronze at the South American Championship in 2024. 43 is a tie, Greece and Bahamas, 80 points each. For Greece, all 80 points were collected this year. At the main tournament of the European Championship, they were 13th out of 16 teams, going 1-2 in group play. Bahamas took part in the Under-23 Pan American Championship in Panama, failed to advance out of their group, losing to Cuba and Puerto Rico. Bahamas will host and participate in next month's Caribbean Cup. 42 Hungary, 83 points, 54 this year. They took part in the European Championship, but were 0-4 and got relegated. Their Under-18 team won the gold at a B-Pool qualifier, which they hosted. 41 Lithuania, 90 points, 56 in 2025, up 13 spots from the last ranking. They were the other unlucky country to get relegated from the European Championship. On the bright side, their Under-18 team won gold at the B-Pool qualifier, topping Poland in the final, and their Under-18 Baseball 5 team qualified for the World Cup. 39 Pakistan and Costa Rica, each with 97 points. For Pakistan, 85 this year. Silver medalists at the West Asia Cup, lost by 1 run in the final. The country's first professional franchise debuted last week in Baseball United, with 4 Pakistani players. Costa Rica earned 35 points this year, host of the Copa Centenario. At the Central American Games, they were second out of 6 teams. 38 U.S. Virgin Islands, 98 points, all from previous years. Participated in the Under-23 Pan American Championship qualifier, and will participate in the Caribbean Cup. 37 Belgium, 125 points, 98 for the year. 2-2 at the European Championship, tied with Greece for number 13. At the Under-18 European Championship, they were 10th, good enough to remain in Pool A. 36 Palestine, 159 points, every one of them earned in 2025. Champions of the West Asia Cup, dethroning Pakistan for the title. 35 Sweden, 160 points, 131 for the year. 10th place at the European Championship, despite getting only 1 win. Also competed in the Nordic Championship, Under-18 European Championship Pool B, and a Swedish club took part in the Federation Cup. 34 Switzerland, 167 points, almost all of that earned in 2025. 11th place at the European Championship, going 3-3 overall. 21-year-old Swiss reliever Dominic Scheffler was promoted to Single-A Daytona in the Cincinnati Reds system. Another Swiss pitcher, Fabio Bundi, just signed with UCLA. He'll be the first ever born and raised Swiss pitcher in Division I history. 33 Croatia, 176 points, 166 this year. 4-3 at the European Championship, good for 8th place. A really strong finish for them. Of the 7 countries that finished ahead of Croatia, 5 will be at the next WBC. The other 2 were Spain and Germany, which just missed qualifying for the WBC. 31 Argentina and Thailand, 178 points each. The Thai women's team competed in the Asia Cup, placing 8th out of 10. Argentina 3rd at the Under-23 Pan America South America qualifier. Number 30 Guam, 181 points, runner-up at the Pacific Mini Games. Also 2nd at the Under-12 Oceania qualifier, losing in the final to Australia. 29 Hong Kong, 319 points, 98 this year. The Hong Kong women's team competed in the Asia Cup, winning the bronze with a win over Korea in the final game. This qualified them for the Women's Baseball World Cup, for the first time ever. 28 Austria, 358 points, 265 this year. With an overall record of 4-2, Austria placed 9th at the European Championship, a good showing for them. And their Under-23 team topped a B-Pool qualifier, earning them a spot in the A-Pool. 27 Spain, 359 points. Spain experienced some deja vu at the WBC qualifier, just missed out on qualifying, losing to the same team they had beaten earlier, just like 3 years before. At the European Championship, they were unsuccessful in defending their 2023 title, placing 4th this time. The Baseball 5 team won silver at the European tournament and qualified for next year's Baseball 5 World Cup. 26 Curaçao, 365 points, but nothing this year. One Curaçao club, the Santa Maria Pirates, took part in the Baseball Champions League Americas, finishing 4th out of 10 teams. Curaçao hosted and participated in the 2025 Little League Caribbean Region Tournament, and they will compete in December's Caribbean Cup. 25 France, 384 points. A disappointing performance at the European Championships, losing all 6 of their games and finishing 12th. They're usually one of the top 8. On the bright side, their Baseball 5 team won the European title, and qualified for the Baseball 5 World Cup. 24, Philippines, 414 points, 140 for the year. 6th place at the Asian Baseball Championship with a record of 2-3, a chance for more points when they compete at the Southeast Asian Games in December. 23, Africa's number 1 country, South Africa, 415 points, 182 this year. Got off to a good start at the WBC qualifier, taking Nicaragua to extra innings, but got blown out in their next two and failed to qualify. Their under-18 team breezed through the African Championship. At the Under-18 World Cup, they were 12th. 22, Brazil, 555 points, 3-1 at the WBC qualifier Pool B. Finished second, good enough to make a return to the main tournament of the WBC for the first time since 2013, and a silver medal at the Under-23 Pan American Championship. 21, Israel, 662 points, 195 for the year, 3-4 at the European Championship, earning a 7th place finish. Number 20, Canada, 744 points, almost brought home the World Series this year, and their under-18 team was 4th at the World Cup Americas qualifier, qualifying for next year's World Cup. Number 19, Great Britain, 975 points, 3-3 at the European Championship, finishing at number 6, bronze at the Under-23 European Championship, and silver at the Women's European Championship. And now we have reached the top 18. If nothing changes in the last month of the year, the next 6 teams will be in next year's Premier 12 qualifier, along with 2 wildcards. Number 18, Germany, 996 points. Just missed out on qualifying for the WBC. Beat China, but couldn't beat Colombia or Brazil. Finished 3rd in Pool B at the qualifiers. 4-2 at the European Championship, placing 5th. The Under-12 team took home the gold at the European Championship. 11th at the Under-12 World Cup. 17, China, 1,136 points. Very disappointing performance at the WBC qualifier. They got blown out in all 3 of their games. Also winless at the Under-18 World Cup. 16, Nicaragua, 1,455 points. Champions of WBC qualifier Pool A, guaranteeing a 2nd straight appearance in the big tournament. They hosted the inaugural Series of the Americas. Local representative Leones de Leon reached the final, but settled for silver in that one, and won gold at the Central American Games. Good year for Nicaraguan baseball. Number 15, the Czech Republic, or Czechia, 1,532 points, 4-2 at the European Championship to win the bronze, their first ever medal at this tournament. Silver at the Under-23 European Championship, gold at the Under-12 European Championship, which they hosted, 10th at the Under-12 Baseball World Cup. And the senior national team gained some valuable experience prepping for the 2026 WBC. They took part in MLB spring training in the spring, and went to Korea for a 2-game series versus Korea's national team in the fall. Individually, 26-year-old hitter Marek Klup made his NPB debut, the highest level any Czech player has ever appeared in. Number 14, Italy, Europe's number 2 team, 1,729 points. After a disappointing 2023 European Championship where they failed to make the quarterfinal round, they rebounded this time, going 6-1, their only loss coming in the gold medal game. The Under-18 team was 3-5 at the World Cup, placing 9th, and the Under-23 team reached the semifinals at the European Championship. 13, Colombia, 1,927 points. In Pool B of the WBC qualifier, Colombia destroyed the competition, sweeping their 3 opponents by a combined score of 23-1. Colombian club Caimanes de Barranquilla took part in the Series of the Americas, but after going 1-4 in the group stage, could not advance to the semis. And the rest of the teams you'll see make up the top 12. Assuming nothing changes, these will be the 12 teams that earn automatic qualification for the Premier 12. Number 12, the Dominican Republic, 2,254 points. Placed 5th at the Under-12 World Cup. Dominican team Leones del Escogido won the 5-team Caribbean Series, a record 23rd Caribbean Series title by a Lidom team. Number 11, Australia, 2,591 points. Australia competed at the Under-12 and Under-18 World Cups, placing 9th at the Under-12, 8th at the Under-18. The bad news in Australia was that 2 teams withdrew from the Australian Baseball League, reducing the ABL to just 4 teams. Number 10, Netherlands, Europe's number 1 country in baseball, 2,690 points. Gold medalist at the European Championship, going undefeated all the way through. Number 9, Cuba, 2,858 points. 7th at the Under-18 World Cup, 5th at the Under-12. and champions of the Youth Baseball 5 World Cup. Cuban ball club Las Tunas reached the semis at the Series of the Americas, losing by just 1 run, and Las Tunas was also runner-up at the 16 Baseball Champions League Americas. Number 8, Panama, 2,899 points, 6th at the Under-18 World Cup, 8th at the Under-12, champions of the Under-23 qualifier, which they hosted. Number 7, Puerto Rico, 3,536 points, 5th at the Under-18 World Cup. Puerto Rican ball club Indios de Mayagüez took home the bronze from the Caribbean Series. Number 6, Mexico, 3,605 points, 2nd at the Under-12 qualifier, 6th at the Under-12 World Cup. Big success for a couple Mexican ball clubs. LMB champion Diablos Rojos won gold at the Champions League Americas, held on their home ground in Mexico City, and LMP champion Charros de Jalisco was runner-up at the Caribbean Series, losing 1-0 in the championship game. Number 5, Venezuela, 3,612 points, number 2 in the Americas, number 1 in South America. Only 7 points separate Venezuela and Mexico. Venezuelan ball club Cardenales de Lara placed 4th at the Caribbean Series. Number 4, South Korea, 4,192 points, 4th at the Under-18, just missing a medal, but got the medal at the Under-12, earning the bronze. Just finished with a 2-game series versus the Czech team and a 2-game series versus Japan, in preparation for the WBC. Number 3, USA, 4,283 points. USA was number 5 at this time last year. They've had a good year, enabling themselves to move up a couple places. Gold medalist at both the Under-18 and Under-12 World Cups. A team from Nevada was runner-up at the Little League World Series. The top 2 are unchanged from a year ago. Number 2, Taiwan, 5,112 points. A bit disappointing at the WBC qualifier, but still managed to advance with a runner-up finish in Pool A. Bronze at the Under-18 and 4th at the Under-12 World Cups. Little League team won the gold. Their Premier 12 title from 2024 keeps them near the top this year. And the number 1 team in the world, Japan, 6,676 points. Silver at both the Under-18 and Under-12 World Cups. Their WBC title, Olympic gold medal, and Premier 12 runner-up performance still factor into their point total. Samurai Japan players Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto won the National League and World Series MVPs respectively. Another great year for Japanese baseball. Their lead over second-place Taiwan grew from 1,365 points at this time last year to 1,564 now. The reigning WBC champions may get dethroned one of these days, but it was not about to happen in 2025. 2026 doesn't look like it either. Here are the biggest climbers of the year. Costa Rica and Palau are tied for the biggest jump, both gaining 14 points. Poland up 13, Honduras up 12, and Palestine up 10. And that's it. All the countries of the world according to their WBSC ranking, and all that they accomplished in 2025. Let me know if you think I've missed anything. Anyway, that's all for this one. Until next time, this is Baseball International. See ya!